it's such a huge subject. I'm going to split it into two: songwriting and producing. And this is going to be for real beginners. So if you've got a home studio or you've been songwriting, this video may not be for you. But you might pick up some pointers. So first, songwriting, it's too broad a subject. So the only thing I'd say is learn the major and minor chords and don't worry too much about getting too involved in all the different chords and chord progressions. Just do what sounds good. Years ago I wrote a song that charted and I didn't know any of the chords in the song, and they're probably C and D and majors and minors, so it wasn't difficult. It's just I'd never learned any theory at all. Don't tell anyone that, but I didn't need it until I wanted to improve quicker. I mean, I would have improved anyway, but knowing the major and minor chords, I could spot patterns and then know, oh okay, I see it was a 1-4-5 progression or whatever it was. So don't get too hung up on it. It's more about what it sounds like. But if you don't know the major and minor, it's so easy. There's only 7 major, 7 minor chords. So it'll take you an hour to learn that. Piece of cake. And another thing that used to confuse me, I know to improve at songwriting I need to copy famous songs, but how do you know what chords they're playing just from listening to it? If your ear's not that developed, it's very hard. So all you need to do is listen to the bass note, and let's say it's a G, and it sounds like a happy part of the song. That'd be a G, play a G major. If it's sad, it'd be a G minor. So using the bass as your frame of reference is a lot easier than trying to work out the chords. And with producing, like I said, this is going to be a very quick video just for absolute beginners, but for producing you've obviously got 2 choices. You can do it yourself or you can go to a studio. Doing it yourself is fine, but if you've got a song that you think is a great song that you've written, get it done professionally, because the difference between if you've been producing for 2 years compared to someone who's been producing for 10 or 15 is obviously dramatic, but it's subtle. You know, the expert producer may be able to tell you why the lead vocals perhaps don't have the energy that they should. Maybe the chords underneath are in the wrong octave, or if there's frequency ranges that are suffering or missing, things that are quite advanced but make a small impact on the song, but cumulative. You know, you do all these small things and suddenly, wow, it sounds professional. So you're going to learn a lot from working with someone who's an expert. But let's say you want to do it by yourself. All I'm going to say is 3 basic things that a lot of beginners do that's wrong, or I feel is wrong. So the first one is compression. Learn about compression, because in the early days of producing you might have, say, a vocal that you mix and it sounds great in the verse but it's too quiet in the chorus. So you turn it up in the chorus and now it's too loud in the verse. That's because it's not compressed. Compressing something will squash it and make it more manageable and controllable. So compress everything if you want. I mean, compress the vocals, compress the guitar, and then compress the whole mix. Don't be too aggressive with it, but get used to compressing things so they're stable. Again, that's a huge subject, I won't go into compression, but the other thing is bass frequencies. Now, people think that there's loads of bass. They go into a club and they think, man, this dubstep track or hip-hop has got loads of bass, it's really loud and it's really boomy. It's actually not. The bass may be loud, probably because the speakers are good in the club, but even if you listen on, you know, stereo at home, the bass can be loud, but the bass frequencies are controlled and contained, because bass is a really destructive thing actually. You know, when you come out of a nightclub and all you can hear is the bass thumping, or your next door neighbour's playing the track and you can hear the bass, the kick and the bass drum. That's because bass frequencies are very aggressive, and they'll eat up the frequency range of your track. So if you want to pump your song loud, you'll push it up to the loudest it can be when it's clipping in the red, and it's usually because the bass is too loud that it's stopping you from going higher. You turn the bass down, or you turn the frequency of the bass down around 100 Hertz, that's the boomy area. You turn that down and all of a sudden you've got 20% more volume you can go up. So don't let the bass kill your track just because you want it to sound bassy, because believe me, any song that's commercial, it's actually not that bassy. You learn over time that the bass doesn't need to be that loud. So that's that. And the other thing is the vocals. Just keep them nice and high in the mix, because a lot of people when they start out they have the vocals very, very quiet, buried in the music. So keep the vocals nice and loud, or you know, on top of the music. It will make it sound nice and professional. And that's it. So that's just very quick basics of getting started with songwriting. A couple of mistakes that producers make.